I'm going to mention a quick note on matrix multiplication in this video, and that note is that matrix multiplication is not commutative. Okay, what do we mean when we say it's not commutative? Well, ordinary multiplication of numbers is commutative. If you were to multiply 5 times 3, you would get the same thing as if you multiply 3 times 5. Right? In fact, when we say that ordinary multiplication is commutative, we mean that a times b is equal to b times a for any numbers a and b. Okay, well, for matrices, it is not true that a matrix A times a matrix B is the same thing as B times A. It is not necessarily the case that AB is equal to BA. Okay, for one thing, it's possible that A times B is defined, right? We can multiply A times B, but we can't multiply B times A. For example, if A is a 3 by 5 matrix and B is a 5 by 7 matrix, then we can multiply A times B. In fact, A times B will be a 3 by 7 matrix. And notice here that the number of columns of A is equal to the number of rows of B. So A times B is defined. On the other hand, if we were to try to do B times A, now remember B is 5 by 7 and A is 3 by 5, well, these two numbers, 7 and 3, they're not the same. So B times A is not defined. So of course AB is not equal to BA because one of them we can do. It's possible to multiply A times B, but not B times A. But even if it is possible to do both A times B and B times A, your answers are not necessarily going to be the same. In fact, in most cases, they will not be the same. So as a quick example, I defined a 2 by 2 matrix A right here and a 2 by 2 matrix B. And we can multiply A times B and we can multiply B times A, but notice that our answers are not the same. Okay, A times B is not equal to B times A. Now, there are some cases when A times B will be equal to B times A. For example, if A and B are inverses of each other, or if either A or B is the identity matrix, there are some cases where A times B will be equal to B times A. But generally speaking, if you just kind of randomly pick, let's say, some 2 by 2 matrix A and a 2 by 2 matrix B, if you just kind of randomly throw in some numbers, it's probably going to be the case that they're not going to be equal to each other. Okay, they could be, but they're probably not going to be equal to each other. So matrix multiplication is not commutative.